I wanted to start while I do this test for my new position at a new place. I want to kind of talk about this company I just left, Asperian. I'm gonna say the name Asperian found me and decided they were gonna hire me. Okay, cool. I was coming out of the pandemic. I figured I'll get me a job, you know, pays a little money. I'm gonna take the job. I started there June 12th, 2023. Okay. Everything was going good. I had to use somebody else's information to, do my work, but everything was going good. So, my quality was good. I don't call off work because I like working, so I didn't call off work. I don't, my attendance is perfect. So, oh, I clicked out the screen. My attendance is perfect. So I said, well, what could go wrong, right? A lot. Anyway, January, I figured something was going on because my supervisor kept having these meetings where she was talking about how too many errors with the hospital is what she put it. But I'm noticing the one she pulling up ain't got nothing to do with me. So I'm a captain, but I wasn't trying to say hooks that day. So it didn't have nothing to do with me. February 5th. She asked me, was I busy? I said, no. She said, well, can I meet with you? I said, sure, So we met over Teams. And matter of fact, I might have had this shirt on because I feel like I did. Anyway, we met over Teams and she was stating that she had to remove some people from the Medicare accounts. Now, I do medical billing. Been doing it for a long time. I could probably do it in my sleep. I love it. I do it. And, if they my errors, they my errors. I got to take it, So she pulls it up and tried to show it to me. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not mine. I said, that's not even my signature. I don't even write my name like that. And so she was like, well, you sure? I said, hold on a second. I shared my screen and I showed her my documentations. Like, this is mine, but that is not mine. And I said, as a matter of fact, my initials is not even in on that account, which means I've never seen that account before. I've never touched it. So she pulls up another one. And I said, listen, that is not mine. I said, whoever is sending those out are sending them out in my name, but that is not mine. Anyway, she said, you sure? So she did like two more or whatever. And I was like, all of them ain't mine. All of them. Because the signature is still the same. And I don't sign my name like that. So she was like, okay, continue doing what you're doing. I'm going to figure out whose these are, right? Well, that was like a Thursday. So that Friday, I chatted her and I said, did you figure out who did that? I mean, y'all done sent it in my name to Medicare, which is a government facility, got paid in my name. And she was like, no, I haven't yet. So I said, okay. So I left it alone all weekend. Monday rolled around. I sent her another message. Have you looked into finding out who this is? She was like, well, I don't really know. And she said, I can't explain why it happened like that. I said, well, I can, because I'm going to tell her, yeah, because I ain't doing nothing yet anyway. I can't explain why, that these errors are occurring. This is what she was telling me. So I said, the only reason why I'm pressing this is because I just had identity theft in California. And I said, someone got nine iPhones in my name. And I had no clue. And my bank had to tell me that my name had been used, in California. And so I was like, I ain't never been to California to purchase anything. I ain't even been there. And why would I need 9 cell phones? Like, anyway, I don't have a business. Anyway, so I told her, I said, that is the reason why I'm pressing the issue, because they sent some documentation out in my name. And, I'm trying to be very protective of my name since my Social Security was hacked. And so Tuesday rolled around, she meet with me, and she shows me a whole different sheet, okay? And I'm like, that is not the one you showed me yesterday. That's not the same sheet. I said, the one you showed me yesterday were the ones that you said that the team lead approved. And her name is Lashika. Lashika, my supervisor, tried a sister at that. So she was like, well, I'm gonna get to the bottom of whatever. So then I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, I got to get to the bottom of this because, it was an error in our company. Once you get to Medicare and it's an error, that's the government. And I said, I worked for a hospital all my life, basically. I mean, I worked at Allstate, but I worked at the hospital majority part of my life. So I need this. Like, I can't get a HIPAA violation. I just can't. I can't afford it. So she went on to say how she would speak to her supervisor and get back to me. So she did. She spoke to her supervisor. Her supervisor met with me over Teams, and she was like, what could we have done? Now, by this time is Wednesday. She said, what could we have done to make this a better situation? Like, what would have made you okay? And I said, first, acknowledging that it's not mine, okay? And second of all, finding out who did it. That's what you could have done. You could have found out who did it. But instead, you don't want to. You wanted to blame me and for me to be a dummy and just take it and keep getting demotions and all that anyway. So the hospital sent us a notification to do our training. So that was Thursday. So Thursday, now mind you, I've been there a year and I have used supervisors' passwords to get into the hospital system. I've used team members' passwords to get into the hospital system. And, I knew it was funny, but I ain't know it was that funny. So Ohio State Hospital said they didn't want nobody logging in to that hospital they didn't know was in there, which is true, because that's a HIPAA violation. Like, I see medical records that I'm not authorized to see. The hospital didn't authorize me to get into their system. So I understand where they're coming from. So I refused to sign in under anybody else's name. And I was like, no, give me my own ID. That's what you can do. Give me my own ID. I've been here a year. So I was starting the training. And I look, and my supervisor sends in the chat, anyone get the thing for training and know how to get into training? So I knew she was talking to me, but I ain't pay attention. So I just kept on going, because I don't chat. I'm not a chatty person. I'm not gonna be your friend at work. I got my kids. I got my grandkids. I'm not gonna be your friend at work. Okay, I'll be cool, but I ain't got to be your friend. Okay. So anyway, she sends her cousin, who happens to be under her, to send out a message. She will help us get into the system. And so I was like, I'm not responding. So I finished. I was just doing my little training like I was supposed to do. I do my little training. And what time was that? 36. We got till 46. Anyway, so I sat there and was doing my training. Tell me why my whole system, and this is a video on here when I did it, whole system went black. Nobody. I couldn't contact nobody was answering the phone. Okay? Nobody. And so I called the home office. I was like, what is going on? I said, my computer went completely out, or I was in the middle of training. And so I'm going to get somebody to call you back. So like maybe 15 minutes later, the hospital calls me. And they want to know what happened. Did the system fail, or is it something wrong with my computer? So I said, I don't know. I can't explain it. All I know is they locked me out the system. And I'm trying to reach somebody to figure out why. I said, that's all I could tell you. So the lady was like, oh, okay. And then she was like, okay, well, call me back. So I said, okay. So needless to say, 2.5 weeks later, I'm granted back permission to get into the system. By this time, they have went through everything and realized I was the one who was making the most mistakes, and that Ohio State said they specifically did not want me doing their billing. Now, we're going to have a problem here. The problem is, how come these mistakes was not caught in a year? But all of a sudden they caught overnight. Secondly, I know you didn't speak to Ohio State because they called me. See, let me explain something. These little companies that grew fast got greedy. And they didn't know when to just level it out. Just do your business. This company hired me because they had just got that contract with Ohio State. And they knew they needed people on board. So they hired me and pushed me out there and didn't care. And the hospital was real strict about how many people they will allow into their system. And so that's why it took so long for them to send out notification to get me approved for the system. So I said, well, everything y'all doing here is backwards, okay? And I even told the CEO this, okay? I said, listen, I done been working a long time, and I ain't go to school getting no degree. But I do know that you cannot forge my name on a document and submit it for payment and think you okay. But you locked me out for 2.5 weeks. Even though they did pay me for those weeks, I admit I did get paid. I had a vacation, 2-week vacation, but I didn't know, but I was calm because I knew I did nothing wrong. And the whole time I've been calm. So I get back to work and they tell me, you're going to be on the phones all day, every day. First of all, that's not in my job description. And second of all, even though I have to do it because this is my lifeline, don't mean that I like to do it. I said, when am I going to get access to the system again? Because I was in the middle of training when you locked me out. Never. And so I said, well, this is so like retaliation. I'm like, y'all retaliating against me for speaking up and saying that's not my error. Anyway, they saying somebody from the mailroom did it. I don't know how the person from the mailroom got knowledge of me, but whatever. I know who did it, but they won't admit to who did it. And so I went in the chat and I said to Lashika, I said, you supposed to be my sister and you gonna fall for this? You gonna do me like this? I said, that's okay. And so the one woman, she was like funny acting. She was telling everything I do. Like literally, she was sitting here in my computer watching me and tell everything I do. So I told her, I said, don't you know queens rule the chessboard? You're playing with the wrong one. Because I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay? Anyway, So I continued to work. And then, like one day when I was at work, I was like, well, you know, I'm not able to get through to these. They gave me a 2 week timeline to figure out how to do everything, from writing appeals to just being on the phone. No guidance, nothing. Just hand it to me. I'm supposed to figure it out. But that's okay because I excelled in it. Anyway, I went on ahead and did my phone calls, even made friends with people. I like being on the phone. It's just that it wasn't in my job description. Anyway, so I said, well, until I find another job, I'm here. We just gonna have to work together. So they wrote me up, and on the write up was a final, meaning if I were to mention the word retaliation, they would fire me for insubordination. In other words, shut up. They said, I'm not going to pull you. I'm not going to be having these meetings with you like a crybaby. This is their words. Like a crybaby, so that you can get your little point across. We're over it. We're done. It's over with. You're on the phones, and that's it. They talk to me like that. I said, okay. Well, I'm here until I find another job, because I'm like average. I'm an average person. I live paycheck to paycheck. I need my job. That's paying my rent. So I'm going to continue to work. Didn't get no disciplinary actions, no corrective actions, quality good. I mean, I'm smooth sailing. And I've been putting in job applications ever since February, okay? Ever since February, I've been putting in job applications, meaning like more than 50 a week. And usually it don't take that long for me to get a job. I'm good with getting jobs, but anyway, it has taken me some time to get this job. So now I'm working with a new company, but I'm still pursuing suing them for the utilization of my name, for fraud, for retaliating against me. I said things didn't have to go down this path. It didn't. So they got a letter from Civil Service, and Civil Service took what they said, that you were removed because of your quality. I said, I digress. You need to ask them for quality reports from that day before to the day I got hired. Ask them for the quality reports. Let's play. You want to play? Let's play. But I know one thing. I'm somebody. And, they send me little notes and stuff like, are you sure you got a apostrophe in your name? Lady, you think people just walking around putting hyphens and apostrophes in their name? I didn't do that. My mama did it, okay? So if you want to question somebody, question her. She's 6 feet under. So question her. I did not put the hyphen in my name. I mean, the apostrophe. So yes, it is in my name. It's on my birth certificate. I've never had that question asked to me. And I said, I hope my granddaughter never have it, because she got the same thing. I mean, that's just like asking somebody, you sure you that color? I mean, I know my name. But I should have knew something then when they start, we're doing a HR update and we need to verify information. I said, verify this. My name has an apostrophe in it. But needless to say, I'm with a new company and I go to court on December 2nd. So I'm just praying and I'm letting God lead the way. He giving me direction on what to do. I'm doing it. And I'm just going to let God lead the way, because that is not my fault. And for you to retaliate against me and knowing that I've done nothing, then lock me out the system. So when I resigned, I put happily in capital letters, resigning. They immediately locked me out the system. I gave them a 2 weeks notice, and these Negroes locked me out immediately. So I was like, I ain't gonna worry about it. I ain't calling nobody or nothing. I'm gonna wait till the supervisor call me. So she called and she said, we decided, I just got out of the HR meeting. I think I put fear in her because she was just shaking. And we decided we're just gonna pay you until the time you leave. Because I already had some, like I had PTO time. So it didn't really matter one way or another whether or not I was there or not. But it was just a point. You locked the system. I can't even clock in. I can't even look at nothing. You locked the system. So my last check, they shorted me $200 on one check. Now my last check, they shorted me another $200. I said, that's okay. That's all right. I ain't even gonna call. I'm not gonna fret because you did wrong. Point blank, period. And we'll just see on December 2nd what they have to say, because I went to EEOC on that. No way can you walk around here, I don't care about AI. AI probably bought them 9 iPhones out in California. I don't care. My name is something. That's why you wanted to know if I use apostrophe, because you were using my name and you wanted to make sure you used it properly. But what you messed up is the T is always capital. You forgot to capitalize the T. Anyway, December 2nd, we'll see. Other than that, and the company name is Asperian, and they do third-party billing for various hospitals. And matter of fact, they lost a contract with Tri-Health. And I'm throwing out names. They lost a contract with Tri-Health. And Tri-Health, when they knew they lost that contract, guess what they did? Tri-Health? Rebuild all those accounts that they didn't pay. Hoping that before the end of the year, they'll get some money.